136. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking about the Smith and Wesson model 5906. Now, I picked this gun up a few weeks off a gun broker. I'm going to be honest, it was actually kind of challenging to find a somewhat decent 5906 without paying over $800, and every gun that I looked through, every posting, had like 10 to 15 bids on it. It was going $800, and the TSW model was going for like $1,100. And I wasn't gonna pay that much money for a gun that is, 30 years old, that was mass produced. But that just goes to show you that these guns are rising in popularity, and it is a good looking gun. Now, when I got this one, it was definitely beat to shit. It was dirty. Now, as great as this grip is, with it being original, it looks like shit. So the plastic grip looked absolutely like garbage, and I knew that this gun could become better. It could look much better. Alright, I got this bad boy all cleaned. That looks so much better. Now what I'm going to try to do is go for this two-toned look where some of it's kind of polished and some of it's kind of not. So I think that will look really good on this thing. And this polished area won't be so much because the grip will cover most of this up. So it's a beautiful stainless steel gun, but it looked like this dull section here that I have, and I'll just put a picture of what it looked like, but it looked completely dull. There's grime everywhere over it, scratches. So I found this gun, and the way I found this is instead of searching on Gunbroker Smith and Wesson model 5906, I just put Smith and Wesson 5906, and sure enough, somebody had put a listing on there without the name model, and I got around Gunbroker's search by excluding that part of the name. And I was able to bid on this gun for just over $500, which I know is still a little spendy for this type of gun, but they're starting to become hot. So I bid on it unopposed. Waited a week and boom, it was mine. Had it shipped over, and after, taxes, fees, shipping, all that, it ended up paying a little around $600 for this thing. So in my opinion, it was a steal. Not a steal because, it is an old mass-produced gun, but they're, like I said, gaining in popularity. So if you're interested in getting one of these guns, now might be the time. So I got the gun. Immediately right out of the way, I could tell it was super dirty. Grime everywhere, and so I started taking it apart. Like, I completely took apart the entire internals of the frame of the gun and cleaned it up, and then I polished the side of the slide here and the side of the frame, and it gave this a nice shiny finish. It's not mirror finish, which is not something I wanted to do, but it's just that perfect nice clean look. And then I had that two-tone with that dull part with the lower part of this frame right here, and I think it looks really good. Now The other thing I did, now the gun is clear, there's no mag. As you can see, I took away the unnecessary safety, the magazine disconnect, which, you know, is a big gripe for a lot of people. And then I have these beautiful laminate wood grips here, and it looks great. Now, to wrap off the gun, I went and ordered a fiber optic sight. This specifically said it was for this model, but I had a bitch of a time getting that thing in there, so I had to modify it a little bit, and I was glad that I did not take off too much material and it slid off. But the fiber optic sight makes it really nice. Now, this gun had been worked on previously. There was Trijicon night sights on it that have been long dead, so over 10 years ago at least that this gun was worked on. The feed ramp was polished. It had a 17-pound reduced power hammer spring, so there was some work done to it, but when I got in there, you could definitely tell that, you know, Smith and Wesson didn't pay attention to all the internal parts, and, you know, I had to shine up some stuff. Alright, check this part out. This was the trigger bar, and as you can see, there's a bunch of grooves in there, and I've kind of sanded that down a little bit just to make it a lot smoother. So that looks a lot better than what it did look like. And make things smooth, and the trigger feels a lot better. Now, the trigger pull, before I took everything apart, I think it was like 5 pounds on the single action. I'll put the video up here and, you know, confirm, but just over 5 pounds again. Now it's like a crispy 4.5. And what I did too, I actually went with a heavier hammer spring. I went with the 18 pounds. So all my work made the gun a lot more smoother to shoot. The trigger is a lot more crispy and clean. Even without that, you know, reduced hammer spring, everything works. But this gun looks great. And my specific 5906 has the target sights, which, you know, I wanted a gun that, if I wasn't going to be able to put optics on it, be able to change the rear sight elevation and windage so I could, you know, shoot this thing a little bit farther. And I was able to get, I think, what's that, 40 yards over there? Out to 40 yards on this thing with irons. First time shooting it, so I wouldn't say that's too bad with this gun. Now, the single action trigger pull here is really clean. Here's the reset. Now the double action is just this long travel there. So it's a double single action gun, like a typical revolver. Now you're not going to shoot this thing as fast as like a 2011. The fastest I got was 1.3 something for a bill drill, which I think is respectable for a double single action gun. But everything about this thing is just buttery smooth. It sounds good. It looks good. I love this. And I really wanted to show revitalizing a old Smith and Wesson. Like, this thing was beat up, and I feel like I gave it a brand new life. And it looks great. Now, the other thing that came with this pistol here is it came with two 15-round magazines. So that's what the gun looks like. That was standard back when these were produced. And what I ended up doing was ordering some, I believe, Met Gear 17-round magazines. Doesn't shoot past any further than the 15 rounds. So you're able to get a larger capacity magazine, which is nice. A little bit more standard to today's standards. There's also 10-round magazines out there which you can order. Now, the final thing that I did to this gun was the magazine release right here. The original one was stainless steel, but it was like a little nub, very small, and it was kind of hard to get to, especially with these beautiful wood grips here. So I ordered a magazine nut from, similar third gen, second gen model, but had a much higher rise to the nut. So it's a little bit easier to operate and grab because now it barely sticks past the grip, which is good. Now it's easier to put the mag in, release it, just because it's a little taller, which is nice. Shooting this gun was great. It's a very flat shooter, and what I love about this particular gun is there's a lot of jimping here on the trigger guard. So when you're grabbing the gun, you can actually put your forward hand on front of the trigger guard and help keep that gun down. Now this gun weighs about 40 ounces with the plastic grips unloaded. Wood grips, it's probably 41, maybe 42. And with 17 rounds, this thing is, it's a cannonball. Like if you threw this at someone unloaded, it would cause some damage. And I love that about this gun. Plastic guns are great, but I talked about this in a video a while ago where it's not really interested in handing down a plastic 9mm, but this all stainless steel 9mm, definitely a piece worth handing down. It looks great. It's heavy duty. It's gonna withstand 3 lifetimes, honestly. And when I was looking it up, AI told me that this gun could most likely handle +P+. Now I don't know if that's recommended. I don't have the user manual. Probably wouldn't I probably would not. I would not run +P+ ammunition in this gun, but that because it's heavy duty, it's nice and tough. But this gun just looks great. It feels great in the hand, and it just feels great to look at. Now, you could conceal carry this. It is a 4-inch barrel, but I don't know if the weight is something that you want to conceal carry this. You could hip carry it, or maybe the belly band and carry it like I normally do, but this is definitely not something that you're going to carry over the summer. But it is definitely a good looking piece, and I'm really glad to have picked it up. So that's the video, guys. Thanks for watching. It's been really fun revitalizing this gun and making it look brand new again. And I'm starting to get into a kick of buying older guns. So I think that's what I'm going to start doing from now on is, looking for older guns that I can revitalize a little bit and bring a new. Great looking gun. Great looking piece. Smooth, soft shooter. It is awesome. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, peace.